What is up, guys? Delboy here. So an interesting fight has just been made between the IBF lightweight champion Robert Easter and number one contender Denis Shafikov. This fight is going to take place on June the 30th, and it's taking place in Toledo, Ohio, which is actually the hometown of Robert Easter Jr. So I think this is an excellent fight, to be quite honest. I think it's a really good fight. To my mind, Denis Shafikov will be Robert Easter's best opponent to date. And, you know, there's no doubt in my mind on that one. I think Shafikov is definitely Easter's best opponent. Shafikov recently beat Richard Comey in a final eliminator, and Comey he actually fought Robert Easter too in a really, really close fight. And there's a few people who felt Comey beat Easter, and I've watched both fights, and I actually felt Denis Shafikov beat Comey more clearly. I know that doesn't. I'm not saying Shafikov's better, but it's an interesting subplot. You know, I felt Shafikov done a better job. I felt he won the fight more clearly than Robert Easter. Both fights were split decisions, but I felt Shafikov done a better job against Comey, no doubt about it. I think Shafikov he definitely handled the power better. But this is a really interesting fight. Obviously, Robert Easter is coming off. He was coming off a couple of good wins against Argenis Mendez and Richard Comey. He fought a guy called Luis Cruz in his last fight, who's not particularly great. Didn't think he looked too good in that fight. But he's coming back now with a tough fight in Shafikov. Obviously, Shafikov is coming off two good wins against Jamel Herring, who was undefeated, 15-0 at the time, and Richard Comey, who I just mentioned. So both guys are coming into this fight in good form. Both guys are coming into this fight with decent activity behind them. You know, I think this is a really good fight. I'm going to do my prediction video now because there's no point making two videos on this fight. But stylistically, I think it's an interesting fight because Easter, when you look at Easter, first of all, let's talk about the records. Easter comes in with a record of 19 wins, 0 defeats, 0 draws. 14 of those 19 wins coming by way of knockout. And Denis Shafikov comes into this fight with a record of 38 wins, 2 defeats, 1 draw. 20 of those 38 wins coming by way of knockout. And Shafikov has only lost to Francis Barthélemy and Miguel Vasquez when he was in his prime. So, you know, he's fought in good company. And where do we start with this fight? The first thing is, obviously, Robert Easter is the much bigger guy. He's 5'11" with a 76-inch reach, whereas Shafikov is 5'5" with a 68.5-inch reach. So stylistically, we already know the dynamics here. Robert Easter likes to fight on the back foot behind his jab, look for that right hand counter down the pipe when his opponent's coming in, whereas Shafikov likes to get up close. He's a really shrewd inside fighter. He displayed that quite well against Comey. On the inside, he was kind of smothering Comey's work and outworking him, and he was really stealing a lot of the rounds. He's quite a accomplished inside fighter as far as I'm concerned, and he can put the pressure on and sort of break you down like he did against Jamel Herring in the fight before last. Shafikov's a good pressure fighter, and he's good on the inside. That's his MO. He's going to be out. He can't win this fight from the outside. Doesn't take a genius to see that. He can't sit back and outbox Robert Easter because he doesn't have the dimensions for it, and quite frankly, he doesn't have the skill on the outside for it either. He does have a good jab when he's coming in, but he's not got a good jab when he's on the outside and trying to dictate the pace. That's not his style. So stylistically, that's how these two guys match up. And I'm not confident. I'm not really that confident in this pick. I am going for Robert Easter because he's just the bigger guy. He's the younger, fresher guy, and I think he would have learned from that Richard Comey fight, no doubt about it. I think he's going to stick that jab in Shafikov's face and try and keep him at bay and look for those right-hand counters when Shafikov is going to try and come in to do work. I definitely think Shafikov can have success on the inside. I felt when Easter was being pushed back by Comey and when he was against the ropes, he was shipping a bit of punishment, and he can get hit there. You know, Easter to me is always best when he's on his back foot, and when he's got space to move around the ring. If he's stationary, or if he's sort of against the ropes or in the corner, I don't think his defence is that great. He's not that good on the ropes, I don't think. He just sort of stands up straight, and he lets his opponent sort of tee off on him, kind of thing, like Richard Comey was. So he needs to stay away from the ropes. He needs to stay away from the corners. He needs to keep moving, keep on looking for those shots, and they will come, because Shafikov, you know, he does get hit a bit. He is susceptible to a jab, as we saw against Miguel Vasquez a couple of years back. So, interesting fight. I give the edge to Robert Easter on points. That's my pick, but I'm not really that confident in it. I think Shafikov is definitely the best opponent that Easter has fought so far, and I'm looking forward to this fight. I think it's a good fight. What do you guys think? How do you guys rate Robert Easter? How do you guys rate Shafikov? And how do you see these guys gelling together when they fight? Tell me what you guys think. Peace.